You know? Now what they gonna say? I fight younger fighters? They always talk, I'm the best fighter in the world.
Canelo Alvarez remains one of the most legendary fighters in boxing history. And after his victory over Edgar Berlanga, he hinted at possible retirement plans. Reflecting on his career, Canelo mentioned that he had faced both young and old opponents, suggesting that he has little left to prove in the sport. His statement left fans wondering if this might be the end of an iconic era. Saul Canelo Alvarez secured a win over Edgar Berlanga in Las Vegas this Saturday, successfully defending his unified super middleweight titles at the T-Mobile Arena. Canelo, 34, landed a perfectly timed left hook in the third round, sending Berlanga to the canvas. From there, the Mexican star kept up the pressure, outboxing the 27-year-old American and giving him the first loss of his career. Though Berlanga had a few standout moments, Canelo's legendary chin withstood the younger fighter's offense. Much of the excitement came from the pair exchanging fouls and heated words, both during the rounds and in between them. Despite the tension, the fight ended on a respectful note, with Berlanga apologizing to Canelo for some of his actions and congratulating the champion on his well-deserved victory. The given unanimous decision was with scores of 117 to 110 and 118 to 109, twice. This fight reaffirmed Canelo's standing as one of boxing's best. After the fight, Canelo addressed his critics, emphasizing that he's proven himself by taking on younger fighters, dismissing the notion that he only faces older opponents. Confident in his performance, he reaffirmed his belief that he remains the top fighter in the world.
From your vantage point, how would you assess your performance?
No, I did good. You know? Now what they gonna say? He fight younger fighters?
Reflecting on his interaction with Berlanga after the fight, Canelo mentioned how the younger fighter showed respect and apologized for his behavior in the ring. Despite a heated exchange during the match, Canelo recognized Berlanga's effort and noted that emotions can run high during a fight, especially with adrenaline surging. Canelo's success in landing around 50% of his power punches came down to his combination of talent, experience, and discipline. Looking ahead, he plans to rest and spend time with his family before deciding on his next fight. Round 1, the fight starts off with the crowd loudly chanting "Canelo" inside the T-Mobile Arena. Both fighters are standing in the orthodox stance, with Canelo immediately taking control of the center of the ring. Berlanga tries to set the pace by flicking out jabs, while Canelo is patient, reading his opponent's movements. Canelo misses with a right hook to the body, and Berlanga parries a jab upstairs. Berlanga counters with a slick jab after avoiding Canelo's hooks. Canelo finishes the round with a stinging jab, setting a solid foundation for what's to come. Round 2, Canelo keeps up the pressure early in the second round, forcing Berlanga to react to a sharp feint. He lands a hard left hook to Berlanga's ribs, following up with a left to the head. Berlanga fires back with some right hands, trying to gain respect from the Mexican fighter. The two end up grappling, and Canelo lands a 1-2 to Berlanga's back. In retaliation, Berlanga throws a low blow just as the referee steps in. Unfazed, Canelo continues pressing. Right before the bell, Berlanga lands a sharp right cross, a small victory to close out the round. Round 3, Berlanga starts well, parrying much of Canelo's offense and using his jab effectively. However, just as things seem to be going Berlanga's way, Canelo lands a picture-perfect left hook, dropping Berlanga to the canvas. Frustrated, Berlanga quickly gets back up, showing he's still in the fight. Canelo immediately goes for the finish, launching a relentless barrage of punches as Berlanga tries to survive in the corner. Berlanga eventually manages to escape, but it's clearly Canelo's round after the knockdown. Round 4, Canelo continues his aggressive approach, cornering Berlanga and targeting both the body and the head with a jab, followed by a right cross. He lands a solid left hook to Berlanga's midsection. Though the shorter fighter, Canelo is clearly the one dictating the fight, constantly putting Berlanga on the back foot. Berlanga does his best to stay in the fight, but Canelo is piling on the pressure. Round 5. It's more one-way traffic as Canelo continues to corner Berlanga and unload combinations. He lands a jab, followed by a powerful hook. Berlanga tries to duck under the assault and grapple with Canelo to slow him down. Despite a decent cross from Berlanga later in the round, Canelo is in full control, mixing up his shots with power downstairs and speed upstairs. Round 6, Berlanga had predicted a knockout in the 6th round, but instead, he's the one struggling to stay afloat. Canelo's relentless pressure continues, and though Berlanga is countering with some solid punches, they don't seem to bother the Mexican champion. Canelo lands a couple of strong left hooks to the body, and Berlanga noticeably slows down in the final minute, showing signs of fatigue. Round 7. Canelo corners Berlanga again, but this time he's warned for going slightly low with a jab. Berlanga shows some good movement, evading Canelo's right overhand and left hook. However, he's leaning on the ropes, seemingly relying on them for defense. Berlanga goes down at one point, but it's ruled a trip. Still, he takes his time getting back up, looking more fatigued as the fight progresses. Round 8. The pace has slowed slightly for Canelo, which gives Berlanga a bit more room to operate. However, there's a controversial moment when Canelo lands a clean cross after the referee calls for a break. Berlanga complains, but Canelo keeps pressing forward. Despite the momentary slowdown from Canelo, Berlanga still struggles to find a meaningful breakthrough. Round 9. Canelo opens the round with a solid 1-2 combination that jolts Berlanga's head back. Berlanga tries to respond, but his offense isn't as effective as Canelo's clean shots. In the corner, Canelo lands a sharp uppercut, missing with a couple of left hooks beforehand. Berlanga gets in some counters, but it's clear he's getting outworked in this round. Round 10. Heading into the final 3 rounds, Canelo rolls with a cross from Berlanga, reducing its impact. Berlanga mixes up his combinations, but Canelo seems unfazed and continues hunting him down. The Mexican lands more sharp shots and doesn't shy away from trading punches. Towards the end of the round, the fighters exchange heated words after Canelo turns his back and gets caught with a leaping hook from Berlanga. The exchange even includes Berlanga throwing a crotch chop, highlighting the tension. Round 11, the crowd is at a fever pitch as the fight heads into the championship rounds. Berlanga is starting to land more frequently on a tiring Canelo, but the Mexican quickly regains control with a left hook that puts Berlanga off balance. Canelo follows up with a jab that snaps Berlanga's head back. Berlanga complains about a low blow, and Canelo half apologizes. The round ends with more solid jabs from Canelo, and the fighters exchange words once again after the bell. Round 12, as the final round begins, both fighters acknowledge the crowd. Berlanga motions to boos, while Canelo gets cheers. Berlanga tries to fight behind his jab, but at this point, he needs a knockout. A brief grappling moment ensues before Berlanga lands a great cross. But once again, Canelo's chin holds firm. Canelo responds with a cross to the body and a jab to the head, followed by a left hook up top and one to the body. The final bell rings, and the fighters touch gloves and hug in respect. While Canelo's the comfortable winner, Berlanga's effort ensured it was a fun and engaging fight for the crowd. What are your thoughts on this fight? Let us know in the comments below.